Hi, here's a retake of the video I did earlier called The Wife Between Us by Greer, Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I have to redo this video because I made a couple of mistakes that I have to own up to, and the best way to handle it, I believe, is to make a new video. So let me start off by reading the blurb, which is what I did earlier. The blurb is a novel of suspense that explores the complexities of marriage and the dangerous truths we ignore in the name of love. When you read this book, you will make many assumptions. You will assume that you are reading about a jealous wife and her obsession with her replacement. You will assume you are reading about a woman about to enter a new marriage with the man she loves. You will assume that the first wife was a disaster and that the husband is well rid of her. You will assume you know the motives, the history, and the anatomy of the relationships. Assume nothing. That's bold print. Discover the next blockbuster of suspense and get ready for the read of your life. Okay, that's the blurb. Now, I start off my review on my blog by stating that I have a habit when I read audiobooks. By the way, I did download this as an audiobook from Audible. I am not doing it for a publisher or for NetGalley or anything like that. I simply wanted to read this book because I do have their new book coming out called An Anonymous Girl, which comes out in January. I've had it for a couple of months and I will read it closer to the release date, but I chose to read this book because I like to be familiar with the authors that I read and review. Anyway, when I listen to audiobooks, I usually do it at the end of the day for 30, 45 minutes at a time. And what I do is I go into a review and a book and I'll listen to it and pick it up here and there and just glide through at whatever level pace feels good to me. I never rush through them because they're not priority books for me. So I kind of let this book go. And when I did, uh, I realized at one point, let me check it out. And then when I did, I was on chapter 7 after several days or even weeks into listening to it. After a while, that particular night, I realized that I got to chapter 26 without it seeming as if any time passed. Then I read the whole thing. In one night, I listened to the rest of the book. Granted, I lost a good night's sleep. There was no sleep in sight because the book really captivated me. Now, as far as the review itself is concerned, like the blurb says, we are told to assume nothing. That's it. Be careful about making assumptions, because anything we may think or feel or see, we might just be wrong. And furthermore, when you read the blurb, you're not even told who the players are, so it's very intriguing just to walk right into it. Now, the three main characters in the story are Richard, his ex-wife, and his future wife. The ex-wife was thrown aside for a younger woman. Now, she's none too happy about this, the one that's been thrown aside. His soon-to-be wife is very wary and becomes very concerned, not only about her future, but about secrets, whether they're the richer secrets, the past, or even secrets that she herself has. When it comes to Richard, I call him the most unreliable narrator because whenever we get his point of view, we see some things about him that we're just not sure on. Now, as I was listening to this book, as I mentioned, I became truly engaged, truly enthralled, actually. I found the drama to be captivating. I enjoyed everything that was going on. I kind of even enjoyed being in the dark a lot of the times as to what was going on. I kept myself guessing and then assuming and then realizing and then guessing, assuming and realizing. It was going back and forth. Well, I find that my opinion is because it was written by two women, Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen, I wondered if each took on the persona of the individual women in the story. And if they did, they put it together in a really cohesive manner because it came out to be a really great read. I know that their next book, An Anonymous Girl, will be just as good. I think they're a great writing team. They have a strong history and working together is really great. I think that you guys will enjoy the book. The reviews are either very low or very high. Me personally, I gave it 5 stars. I gave it 5 stars because the story was really good. I loved the narration of it, and I was glad that I was able to read it, or should I say, listen to it. Audible is one of my favorite resources, so I really get a lot out of the books that I get from there. I am going to link the book below, as I always do. I will say that just to let you know that as an Amazon associate, should you purchase the book via the link, I will make a few pennies off of the book, which immediately goes right back into the channel, more books, or even coloring supplies. But it won't cost you anything extra, but it is only fair for me to say this. Lastly, I just reiterate, it didn't come from a publisher or NEC ad. This was purely a read that I had to choose because of preparation for a future book of the same authors. That's it for now. Thank you for taking a second look at this review, since the first one contained some errors. Thank you. Bye-bye.